Hey folks, welcome to Safety Solutions Academy. My name is Paul Carlson. I'm out here at the range today with a new sling from Defense Mechanisms, and I'm glad you're here with me so you can take a look at it as well. Today, we're tinkering around with my defensive AR-15 and a new rifle sling from Defense Mechanisms. Now, I know the folks at Defense Mechanisms, both Tim and Jesse, and I got a little bit of a heads up that they were getting ready to launch their product line. And the first thing that I wanted to scoop up was a rifle sling. I've got rifle slings, but I wanted a rifle sling that was better, and that's what Defense Mechanisms is all about. They're all about taking quality gear, solving the problems that gear may still have remaining in it, making it better, and releasing it out to the public. And that's exactly the case with this rifle sling. First of all, defensive long guns need slings. Slings can be used as I'm using it right now, just to hold the long gun so I can take the weight off of my arms and not get too fatigued. But slings also serve other important purposes. They can get the firearm out of our way so that we can use our hands to do something else. They can also serve as an important tool of helping us maintain control of our firearm should someone decide to go hands-on with us. So a sling is an important aspect of a defensive long gun. Now, not just any sling is going to do. I mean, this isn't your hunting rifle. Your goal is not just to throw it over your shoulder and be able to carry it to and from the deer stand. Instead, this sling needs to be able to perform. And that's exactly what the Defense Mechanisms rifle sling does. Now, this is what I would call a Vickers type sling. Let me show you what it is that I mean. You can see here on this side, we've got a tab. This tab allows me to very quickly and easily adjust the length of the sling. It makes it so that I can use the sling in lots of different ways. So right now I've got the sling just around my neck. This is how I might use the long gun when it comes to CQB. It makes it very easy for me to, work and give a muzzle release to a partner if I'm working with others. It allows me very easily to move into the low carry position. I can also transition very easily into the high carry position. All of these things work very well with this sling. I can also snug it up and make it a little bit tighter and swim my arm through it. And now I've got a rifle sling that's a traditional rifle sling. If I move it even a little bit tighter, I can get this sling so that it supports my body, my frame, allows me to take more precise shots with my rifle without a physical support, just the sling supporting it. In addition to be able to move easily into carry modes, I can move easily into sling modes as well. Simply keeping my arm through, I can rotate the controls of the rifle away from my body and hang it right here in a front sling mode. If I want to, I can go ahead and tighten it up so that it's nice and snug against my body. Now I can walk and move. The long gun doesn't bump my legs, doesn't get in the way. The adjustability makes it so that if I'm wearing something different, maybe I've got a plate carrier with some armor on, maybe magazines in a pouch on the front, I can get some distance between my body and the long gun so that it fits no matter what it is that I'm wearing. Now, if I'm here in the front sling position, pretty easy to move out of that position. I may simply just loosen up the sling to some degree, reach my hand in, and now I've got the sling in a CQB position, or I can swim through and have it in the standard position. I can also use the sling to move into a back sling position. I swim out my support hand, work my primary hand through, control the muzzle, bring the long gun around back, and then I can simply snug it up. Now I've got a spot for the long gun on my back. It's out of the way in front, and I have the ability to get at whatever it is I need to get at in front of me, whether it's administering medical care, scooping up a child, whatever the case might be in your scenario. Now, so far, I haven't shown you anything that's incredibly different from other quality slings that are out there. I would call this a Vickers type sling. And it's that tab that I showed you early on that makes it a Vickers type sling. But let's talk about some of the differences. First of all, the first difference is the fact that this tab sticks out away from the main body of the sling. There's some special stitching that's on this tab that makes it stick out at this 90-degree angle. That makes it super easy to find that tab without having to look at it. It literally just slides your hand up or down the sling, and there it is. And then you can go ahead and make adjustments on it. Regardless of where it is, you've got the ability to find that tab without looking for it. Another way that the Rifle Sling from Defense Mechanism differs is the fact that it has 3 elastic keeper loops on it. We've got one that's sewn in place here, and then 2 other elastic keepers that are back here. These elastic keepers, when used along with this little threading cord, make it super easy to stow the sling on the side of the rifle. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Now, this is how I keep my defensive AR-15 stowed. I keep it in a Hornady Rapid Safe clamshell safe, and now with the sling stowed nice and neatly across the long gun, it's super easy to keep it nice and neat when it's stashed away. The sling isn't going to get hung up on anything else. And this works the same as if you were staging your firearm in your vehicle. Now, because of the Hornady Rapid Safe and how it's designed, my firearm is stored with a full magazine inserted and the bolt to the rear. So again, this is how I stage the rifle. We talked about these elastic keepers and the threading cord, how they keep things nice and easy. Well, the size of the sling is important as well. The sling is 1 inch in width. Most slings are 1.25 inches, some are even 1.5 inches. But this width of 1 inch is important because it allows full access to all the controls. If you're keeping your defensive firearm in a cruiser ready mode, you're going to need access to the charging handle. Yep, with the Rifle Sling from Defense Mechanisms, you've got the ability to go ahead and grasp that charging handle and do what you need to do. You also have the ability to manipulate the safety, turn that safety on and off once the bolt is closed. For me, once I retrieve the firearm from the Rapid Safe, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit that bolt catch. Straight on top of the strap, I just press down, and now the bolt is closed. I can then manipulate the safety, turn that safety off, and then back on, all without needing to deal with the sling at all. So let's take a look at that again. We'll go ahead and we'll download the rifle. Again, I haven't moved the sling, and I'm able to do everything I need to do in order to manipulate the rifle. Bolt is locked to the rear. I'm going to go ahead, insert the magazine, and this is how my defensive firearm would be staged. I retrieve that defensive firearm, drop the bolt, assess, manipulate the safety, do the work that needs to be done, and then I can go ahead and grasp the sling, pull it open, adjust it if need be by finding that 90-degree tab, swim into the sling, and now I'm ready to go. I've got the sling on and I'm all set. I can adjust it as needed while wearing it, and as you can see, I now have a rifle that's in the front sling position, and I'm ready to do whatever it is I need to do to finish dealing with the situation. Now, let's go ahead and take a detailed look at exactly how it is that this sling can be stowed to make your defensive long gun as accessible as it needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and clear my rifle. And we'll set it down and get to work. When it comes to staging the Defense Mechanisms rifle sling on your AR-15, it's a pretty straightforward process. Once it's attached to the rifle, you simply need to lay things out flat and then tuck the sling through itself in those elastic keepers. Let me show you how it is that I do it. The first thing that I do is grab the sling and make sure that everything's pretty much straight, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to snug this sling down so that it's at about its shortest position. Next thing is I use the threading loop. I grab onto that, and you can see what starts to happen. The sling that comes from the back of the brace on my AR-15 starts to drop down. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pinch that off and hold it, and I'm simply going to tuck this threading tool, just fold everything back and tuck this little threading cord through the elastic loop that's here. Once I get the threading cord through the elastic loop, I'm going to keep the part of the sling coming from the front as straight as I can, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pull it through. And you can see what I've done so far is I've pulled the front portion of the sling through the first keeper. I'm going to go ahead and use my threading cord to roll through the second 2 keepers, again trying to keep things as neat as I can. I'll go ahead and slide those keepers towards the front of the AR-15 in order to get that cord through. Now you can see I've got things pretty much where it is that I want them. The next step is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold the sling back on itself, use my threading cord to run through all 3 of the keepers, Now at this point, I'm going to leave this threading tool right here through the third keeper, just sticking out a little bit of a touch. And then I'm going to use the other two keepers to start to move back and keep the rest of the sling in place. I can use this little loop here as a tightening tool. I grab onto the loop in the front and the loop in the back and kind of pull things snug. And now I'm pretty much where I want things to be. My sling is on the side of my AR-15, my controls are accessible, and it's ready to go. Now, when I'm ready to go ahead and deploy this sling, it's really a straightforward process. I simply am going to use the rifle however I need to use it, get it ready to go, whatever the case might be, and then I'm simply going to grab the sling anywhere, and I'm going to pull. And you can see everything just comes apart. That's exactly what I'm after. I can then go ahead and use the 90-degree pull tab to adjust, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and stow this sling one more time just to show you how easy it really is. I start out by shortening things up. I now take the threading tool. My sling from the rear drops in. I'm going to go ahead and thread through the first elastic keeper, the second keeper, and the third keeper. Push my threading cord through, and now I'm just going to pull everything into place. If things get a little out of control like they did there, just go back around the brace, again grabbing onto the threading tool and the clip up front. I can snug things down, bring them back through. I'm ready to rock and roll. Nice and clean. So the special features that we've got on this rifle sling from Defense Mechanisms is, first of all, it's 1-inch width. It allows full access to the controls of the AR-15. Next, we've got a 90-degree adjustment tab. This tab is sewn specially so that it sticks out. It's easy to find no matter where it is. You don't even have to look for it, just feel and grab. Next, we've got 3 elastic keepers that help you to stow the sling on the side of your AR-15. And finally, we've got the handy-dandy threading tool that allows us to put things together. All in all, very straightforward, very easy to use system. It allows me to stage my AR-15 for home defense just like this, with a magazine inserted and the bolt to the rear. When I'm ready to use it, I simply close the bolt, deactivate the safety when I'm ready, because I have full access to the controls, and I'm all set. Folks, if you're looking for a sling for your AR-15, I can't recommend the rifle sling from Defense Mechanisms enough. I think the sling gives you some great options for your AR-15 or AR-15 type rifle, and I think it's a great way to go. So folks, you know what the key is. Once you get quality gear like the Defense Mechanisms rifle sling, you've got to get on out there, get yourself some training. When you do, make sure you keep it simple. Please stay safe, and as always, have a great day. We'll see you out on the range.